ready for this, Jimmy? All right, Fritz fam, today we're not doing fish. We're gonna go do Zumba. We're gonna change the channel up a little bit because me and Jimmy, we're always out on the road. We don't get to work out very much. So this is the best we're gonna get. Zumba, let's go. All right, just kidding, just kidding. We're just next door. We couldn't resist. Try to be a little humorous, make you laugh a little bit before we get started. Today we're going to Your Pet Fish. It is an exclusive freshwater only shop. We're talking about bikers, arowana, puffers, up here, Jimmy. Everything that you want to know is in behind this door. I know you're excited like I am, so let's go check it out. I mean, we could do some Zumba, Jimmy. I mean, I've never done it before, have you? No. Hello, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Tell me more about the store.
Okay, so basically the store opened about a year ago. It was back in May last year. The main focus of the store is to have exotic high-end freshwater fish that you don't really see in other stores around here. You could get those fish online, but there's always a risk of like something happened during shipping.
Doesn't come in quite right.
Exactly.
And buying a fish online is sometimes a scary process. I mean, you see it there, you know it's going to have to be shipped. You're kind of worried about that process. If it got too hot, if it runs out of oxygen, or if it just doesn't come in looking like it did when you saw it in the shop.
That way you know you're guaranteed with the good fish, good looking fish without any damages or anything like that.
Okay, well before we get started, let me properly introduce you to the Fritz fam here.
So yeah, my name is Tar. I've been with the store pretty much since it opened. I specialize mostly in community style fish, but working here I've got to know a lot about the monsters and oddballs as well.
So you're like the freshwater community fish guy, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
And you have other people on staff here today that are going to talk to us about the monster fish as well.
Yes. His name is Moray, so he'll be walking you through like the monsters and oddballs.
Right.
Yeah.
There he is, over there.
I'll do the community stuff, he'll do the monsters and oddballs, and then that way we can cover whatever we have in store today.
Show me around.
Okay, sure. So this side of the store is basically where we have most of our community stuff. It's stuff like angelfish, tetras, rainbow fish, things you usually see in most stores, but we try and bring the more exotic and rare varieties of those. Like in this tank here, you have some albino angelfish, but if you look in closer, maybe under the sponge filters, you can see we have some nice redfin cactus plecos. We got those in recently.
Okay.
And we haven't listed the price on them, but those
what
guys.
What is it,
redfin cactus pleco. I'll actually move the sponge so you can have a better look.
Okay. Just for a second.
There you go.
Oh.
And
So you have to get the shot real quick, Jimmy. Did you get it?
I got it.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Right here you can see we have our tetra selection up top. So we have some gold tetras there. Then we have some emperors. Following that, the cardinal. So these are your run-of-the-mill tetras. Everybody knows about them. Everybody wants them. And they're not too expensive. They usually range between like $2 to $3. That's their starting price. Some of them do go up a little more to like $5 to $6.
I see right in front of me that you have some discus here. I mean, discus is a beautiful freshwater fish, but it's delicate and it requires specific tank parameters, an acidic pH.
In my experience, I've kept discus for about maybe 5 years now, and most of what you read online is true, but with most discus coming from farms now, it doesn't really apply. They don't need the low pH, they don't need like soft water.
Really?
You can do them straight tap water. We're in Texas, we do have hard tap water here. All of our discus in here are in tap water. We don't mess with the pH, and they're doing perfectly fine.
Okay, what else do you have here?
Those are the Dwarf Aroras.
Yeah. Are these community fish?
These are community fish. They only get about 3 inches max size for the males, and they're not super aggressive like most cichlids are.
Okay.
You could think of them as like a ram cichlid. That's the same temperament they have.
Okay.
And they do look a lot better. These guys are still growing into their mature colors.
Okay.
So when you put them in like a fully established tank, they do deepen down in colors. They have a lot of purple going on in their faces. They're the Araguaia Dwarf Acara because there's a few different species out there, and I believe these ones look the best out of all the Dwarf Acaras. We do carry a lot of nice Corys usually, so here you can see some orange Venezuelan Corys.
Oh, wow.
They are pretty tiny, but these guys are pretty hard to find. They're a nice color. They have like a brown base color with a nice green in the middle. Then we also have orange lasers. Again, something you don't see in most stores because it's harder to find.
Yeah.
They're right now in the
And
corner
these
here.
aren't too bad. They're only $15 a piece. Triple the price of a common.
Yep, but it's something you don't see every day, so it may be worth getting if you're into those fish.
And there's a laser, Jimmy, right there. Pew, 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 pew. Talk to me about the Oscars here.
Oscars? They can be nice at times. It just depends on the personality of the fish. I've seen Oscars that play with their own hands and all that. Just come up to them, rub against it, and you have ones that just straight up bite your fingers. So.
You have lemon Oscars?
Lemon Oscars, we had them a while ago. It's just a supplier keeps,
Would those be more
going in and
rare
out.
than the super red albinos?
Lemons, I would say yeah, because you have different grades of the lemons. Some of them are fully yellow, some do come with black spots on their bodies. Getting the fully yellow ones is a challenge. They're not really common at all.
So you don't have any lemons?
Not at the moment, unfortunately.
I thought you were like the high-end everything
Yeah,
guy.
again, it depends on our suppliers. They don't always have them in.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So
wow.
those are your Sabahi Plecos, or they're also called Paraplecos.
Plecos.
Yep. And those are really nice. They have a nice spotted pattern that changes all the way from their head to their tail. Not exactly your algae eaters. They are more omnivorous. So they will eat some algae, but they do need a lot more protein in their diet.
They won't even touch the algae.
They will, but they don't really prefer it. They'll go for anything that's more meaty compared to like the algae wafers.
Yeah. Kind of like Jimmy. Jimmy doesn't like to use vegetables. What's this guy?
So he's actually a red flagtail. They call them the Proel Lotus as well. Yep. We actually have a giant one in our display up front.
Algae eater.
You know, this isn't very common to see inside of a fish store because I worked at Dallas Smith Aquarium for 8 years. I never saw one of these.
They are actually a type of tetra. They're just a tetra that grows super large, about almost 2 feet, I would say.
2 foot tetra.
Yeah, we have one that's about a foot that we can show you in our display.
Oh, wow.
But
Like
these
this?
guys, yeah, the same
Okay.
type. Feisty, when it comes to putting 2 of them together, it's always better to have just one in a tank because they will fight all the time.
So the fly river turtle,
Yep.
one of my favorites.
Mhm.
You know, you wouldn't call it a fish, so a reptile, right? And,
It is a
and
reptile, yeah.
they're super awesome. I love their like little pig nose.
Mhm.
Tell me about this. Where is it sourced out of?
Yep.
And ultimately, how big does it get? How much space and what does it eat?
So the fly river turtle, it comes out of Australia. That's its native range. But the ones we get are captive bred. Since they're actually an endangered species, you can't take them out of the wild.
Right.
It's illegal to like catch them and take them out of the wild. So these come from a licensed breeder who
Okay.
has like the paperwork and everything, the CITES paperwork. The breeders do charge a premium,
right.
and that's why the prices go up on them. So at that size, they usually go about 1,500,
Right.
and then again the price jumps
Thousands
exponentially.
of dollars
Yep.
for them. Wow. And then ultimately, if you decided that this thing was way too cute for you to say no to, and you had $1,500 to spend, now what size tank do you need to prepare to have fun?
So at the smaller size, you could probably get them in like maybe a 150 or something like that, because they need the space to move around. They are an active turtle,
Right.
and they don't come out of the water, so you have to give them more water volume to keep moving around in.
Right.
And as they grow, you will have to bump it up to a much larger tank. I would say like even a pond actually.
Right.
That's the ideal setup because they do get pretty massive.
Okay, and they can go in outdoor ponds.
They can just make sure to keep an eye on the temperature. They don't like it too cold. So
Okay.
that's a blue pen. That's a chubby right there.
Okay.
And yeah, they're just stockier compared to most plecos. They don't have that longer body.
Yeah, they're kind of short and chubby. I see now. It all makes sense.
Those are our Orinoco ultims, also wild caught and in tap water. So they will do good in your aquarium at home. You don't have to mess with the pH, softness,
Wow.
nothing. They do get a lot taller than your average angelfish. I've heard of specimens reaching about 15 inches in height from
Wow.
the top of the dorsal to the bottom. And it takes a while to get there, but you can definitely reach that since you just have to give them good food, good water.
It's like the
And
freshwater version of the orbit batfish. Do you do saltwater as well? Do
I don't do saltwater. I've not dabbled in it
you
yet.
have a problem with saltwater?
It's not a problem. It's just I find it a little more expensive for my taste.
Yeah.
So if I do,
What do you mean?
I know I can keep.
$74.
I mean, I know I can keep these alive for sure. It's just saltwater is a whole new ball game for me.
An
So
orbit bat, I think, is like $35 or $40.
I could probably try it. I would love to do like a clownfish tank. That's like a starter, and then I'll jump into like the bigger stuff.
Okay. I'll help you with saltwater. You help me with freshwater?
Yep, we can do that.
Not that I am like not smart with freshwater.
Whatever you need, though.
I don't know these guys.
Yeah.
And you seem to have the hookup, really.
I like these guys a lot. They're one of my favorite fish. We have another turtle up here. We have a couple turtles in the store at the moment. And yeah, they are.
I think you could stand to lose one of these to a really cool manufacturer that wants to have a fly river turtle, right?
We can work
Do we?
something out for sure.
Should we? Yes, you want a fly river turtle.
course,
First,
everybody
really?
wants one.
You said no to the puffer.
We do have some Gulper Catfish. Again, something not the most common in most places.
Wow, they look happy.
Yeah, they are on the community side, but I would designate these as a monster fish.
Those
Definitely
are the
not a
happiest
community
catfish
fish.
you've ever seen. I think that's a smile, Jimmy. You think that's a frown? Oh, gosh. Well, okay, now I can see the frown.
A gulper.
They usually don't eat each other. they only eat other fish because they have like the taste on their bodies. They know not to go for the other gulpers.
And how big do these guys get?
I think they get about a foot. Back to some rare plecos, something you don't see every day.
Yeah.
We do have the true zebra plecos, the L46.
Wow.
And we do have L236 super whites. So these are like one of the rare plecos when it comes to like, making a pleco collection. And let me just get them out of their caves so that you can have a better look at them.
Whoa.
There we go.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So
Look at
These
that
ones
one.
are beautiful.
Is that the super white?
those are the super whites, yes.
Oh, man. $300. But he's so worth it.
Yeah.
That thing is super cool.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, and they are going for a pretty penny. Again, the suppliers are the ones holding the population, breeding them. These are captive bred again. I forgot to mention that.
Right.
And the zebra plecos, again, another endangered species which you cannot take out of the wild anymore.
Right. Yeah, that just recently happened.
Yep.
Mhm.
And we have some leopard frog plecos here. Again, something you don't see every day.
I like those.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like a poor man's zebra pleco, right?
The red lizard catfish pleco, something again, not in most stores. Pretty easy to take care of. They don't get super big. They only get about, I think, 6 to 7 inches long.
Oh, they're classified as a pleco?
They're a whiptail catfish,
Yeah.
but they kind of behave like plecos, I would say.
So it is a catfish.
It is a catfish.
You have to pick, okay?
The thing is, they all fall under the Loricaridae family.
Yeah.
So plecos and these guys are all under the same thing. So whether you say catfish
so
or
you can
pleco.
do it. Sounds swimming. Now you've got some Amazon
Yep.
puffers.
Again, these guys, they are getting more common, I would say now. They are one of the smaller species of puffers. They only get about 2.5 inches. Extremely nippy, so you can't really put them with much else. They have to be by themselves. If you do try them with other fish, you will see that their fins do have little bite marks on them eventually.
I see that these guys had bite
Yep,
marks in them.
they do squabble amongst themselves, but they are quick to heal, so they don't mind it much.
What's this?
Those are giraffe cats. Again, not your average community fish. They get to about, I think, what, 1.5 feet?
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
this
they're
is
fly river turtle.
yeah, this is our paludarium setup. We put a fly rubber in here that got injured by another fly rubber. He basically got half his front flipper bit off. So we put him in here so he can like recuperate, get better.
Will it grow back? Like an oxalotl?
It doesn't grow back, unfortunately.
That
So
thing's gone forever.
once the bone is gone, it doesn't really heal back on top of that.
That poor turtle.
So this is one of our displays. We have a mix of like monsters, oddballs, and everything. Yep, you can see the nice big platinum Florida gar in there. Marty will tell you a lot more about those guys.
We're getting close to Amara's time to shine, huh?
Pretty much, yeah. So those are one of the bigger morays that we have.
Oh, wow.
And this actually goes to show you can have them in a tank with other fish. Just make sure it's not something they can just swallow. Yeah, that's the luteus pleco. So the babies I was showing you, they eventually turn into that monster.
Dude.
And what phase is this?
This is a phase 3. So I think when 75 or more % of the body is covered in yellow, it turns into a phase 3.
Amari, how long have you been doing this?
First employee here. Previously, I worked at Aquarium Pros, which ended up closing down, and I worked there when I was like 16.
Yeah? How
Yep.
old are you now?
I'm 21.
21. And how long have you been doing freshwater fish?
Freshwater fish, I want to say since I was like 12.
You look confident. You think
I'm
you got
confident
this?
in carrying most of my fish, yeah.
Ah, there you go. All right. Welcome,
So-
Amari, to the Fritz fam.
I guess now I'm going to show you guys the big eel, and most of these guys usually just come out as soon as they see
wow.
the shrimp. 2 of the tiger Moray eels, a platinum Florida gar, true parrot cichlid, tiger silver dollars, some regular silver dollars, geophagus, I believe these guys are wine millerai, some Zabrina pikes, and whatnot. There's the big guy.
Wow. Have you had your finger bitten?
Thar has.
Oh, you got your finger bitten, huh? You didn't want to talk about that. Now tell me more about this guy here.
So he came in, I want to say 2 Indo shipments ago, so during the summer. He was our exporter's friend's personal fish, and that he was trying to rehome, so we ended up getting a hold of him. And he's a platinum Florida gar. Right now, I think he's around 18, almost 20 inches. And he tongue feeds everything. Yeah, we have some smaller ones as well.
I know. Oh, wow. Did you get that, Jimmy?
Yeah, we have some smaller silver dollars, smaller Florida gar, smaller arowana. Everything that's in this tank is basically available in the store.
Tell me about this ornate biker.
We're innate bikers. Let's find them. Upper jaw species, so that means they don't have as big as mouths as the others, which are lower jaws in here. These
Whoa.
guys, so the biggest one in here right now is going to be a Nigerian Lapredae. He's going to be that greenish tinted one that's facing us. And then the other 3 in here are the weak sea. Small market for them, but they're cool to have around the store. Lets people know what they're getting into before they get the fish.
Yeah, I like that. Like, it's gonna get this big, man.
Yeah, that's
So
usually-
don't buy it unless you have a big aquarium.
That's usually how it goes. Most of the time I try to refer them to some of the smaller species, so like Senegals, Dohezes, and things like that. Yeah, so those are the Texas cichlids. Those are Rio Grande Texas cichlids. One of our customers.
So
brought
they're raising babies right now. So these fish right here are raising babies.
them. Yep.
Green Texas cichlids, is it anything special, green Texas cichlid?
Not really. I mean, they're the only like actual native species of cichlid in Texas, if that's anything.
Right.
So these guys, they're not too much of a problem. These guys at the bottom, they've been laying eggs and all that, but they always end up eating them with the foot traffic.
Well, you gotta learn. I mean, just
Yeah.
because you get stressed out doesn't mean you're eating your kids, okay?
So the goonch, I don't.
The goonch?
Yeah. So the goonch is something that
I like 'em
most
already.
fish keepers have seen from river monsters. Jeremy Wade ended up fishing for him. He ended up catching one that was like 10, 12 foot, and they get massive, have massive teeth. These were the ones that I believe people were saying we were eating people.
What a funny name.
Wow.
And I gotta be careful with him biting.
Watch out, Amari. He's got a mouthful of teeth.
There we go. He's not happy. There we go.
That thing is crazy.
And he eats people.
Bad fish.
All right, Fritz fan, we made an executive decision that we wanted to save this puffer content for an exclusive all about puffers video that we're gonna come back tomorrow, right?
Okay, yep.
We're gonna do everything about puffers, everything you need to know. You promised to tell
Yep.
Fritz fam everything you need to know about puffers.
For sure.
If you like content like this, definitely hit the like and subscribe button down below. Tell us what you want us to talk about on our next Fritz fan video. Thanks, nailed it.